Heatwave was a special night for NXT, one of the best shows they've put together in years. While not many titles made a chance, the Gold brand does have a new champion with all ego Ethan Page stealing the belt, and we also got the fallout from other matches on the card on Heatwave 2, but we did kick things off with a new champion, and he all ego that is, called out how it took him just 6 weeks to take over NXT. He declared the beginning of the year of the ego, but Trick Williams interrupted and wanted his rematch Tuesday night. Sean Spears arrived to take credit for Page's wins to charge of you screwed Trick. Javon Evans reminded both heels that they almost beat them on Sunday, and a brawl broke out between the four men. It was a solid opener, carried heavily by the new NXT champion. It took a couple of minutes for Page to show why he won the championship. He's one of the most confident promos on the roster and did not skip a beat. Logically, Trick should get the first match against Page, but NXT may want to save that in the meantime, and Evans or Spears could be an interesting match, or maybe an outside challenger like Ori Mensah. Lots of options to build for Page, and yet that's interesting. Before it's time for Oriana Grace against Carmen Petrovich. Grace continued to call herself the better Canadian, but Carmen Petrovich let her actions speak louder. She won with a low cyclone kick to Grace. Afterwards, Fallon Henry attacked Petrovich from behind and laid her out, saying she was sick of these rookies. This was over way too far. After a fun warm-up match for Heatwave, Grace and Petrovich deserves a bigger spotlight for their subsequent battle. Grace is one of the better pure character workers in NXT. She will recover from what amounted to a one-sided squash, but she can do so much more in the ring than those 2 minutes. Petrovich and Grace as a tag team still feels the best way for us, assuming they can settle their differences after this match. But yeah, for me this didn't really click at all and gets a 4 out of 10. Before it's time for Tony D'Angelo against Lexis King. Eddie Thiel set up his DJ turntable on stage ahead of this match. He distracted King after the first round, allowing the Don to hit, forget about it. I'll start with the second round for the first fall. King pulled out the surprise pinfall of Coronation just before the bell in round 3. A high spine buster for the Don picked up the second pinfall of the match. Early on this was shaping up to be one of King's best NXT matches, but he didn't adapt well to the Heritage Cup format. He looked and worked hard for about halfway through the third round. The in-ring character was solid and there was some promise in the ring. However, the heel needs to build up his stamina. NXT needs to figure out what it can do. D'Angelo should have a furious rival, and King just lacks credibility, especially with Thorpe there. I'm going to 5 out of 10. Before it's time for Mark Coffey and Wolfgang against Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Iguay. A brawl broke out during Gallus' entrance, but the teams made it to ring to allow the bell to ring. Joe Coffey helped Wolfgang and Mark Coffey set up their double team finisher to sing the ring. For the multiple wheel build, it would have been nice to see more of both teams in the match. Instead of Royal Build kicked it off. The newer team have not shown yet what they can fully do. They're hard-hitting but raw, need time to play out a decent battle. Gallus needs a victory, and hopefully NXT has a plan compared to what they're just doing at the moment, which is just reheating them after losses, etc, etc. So yeah, I'll go to 6 out of 10. Wesley then sounded ready to quit NXT, but he was interrupted by Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, his friends from TNA, as part of the Rascals. When told Lee it was time for MSK to get back together and the Rascals take over, the three men hugged. For those who don't know Lee's pre-NXT history, under the name Desmond Xavier, this was a special moment. The Rascals have not worked together as a trio since 2020 when Lee and Wentz signed to NXT. NXT fans should recall NSK though, even if Wentz is now working under the name Nash Carter. No team is on a stronger path to success before his release, and hopefully this will get them back on track with Trey Miguel as there. He has the talent to do it on his own, but I think bringing these two together will only make it even better. Before it's time for Tia Hale against City Dame. Hale found an opening against Dame and took advantage, making her tap out to Kimura Lock. Obafemi then interrupted a celebration tournament challenger for next week, Duke Hudson. The MVP cut a passionate promo promising to upset the North American champion. This was a fine match, but again too short for the purpose of pairing two rising stars in the women's division. It was a shocking result given Hale recently lost to Nyx, while Dame has been building momentum in recent weeks. It seems NXT is fast-tracking Chase U Spitfire to a women's championship opportunity, which makes sense given the gold brand's load on baby faces, but it's a shame the booking just hasn't really wound it up. And to be honest, I don't really take her as a credible challenger, as example Lola Vice for example, so yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Before it's time for the OC against OTM, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson tried their best to slow down Price and Nima, but OTM refused to lose. Nima and Price planted Anderson with their double team finisher for the win. It was a good win for OTM. The rising rookies made most of their opportunities and picked up a victory that felt like it mattered. It was still a shorter match than the build-up deserved, but at least the stars meshed and the right team won. However, OTM is ready for how much NXT is putting behind the group. The stage has been set for Nima, Price and Jada Parker to go after the gold. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I thought it was decent. without being that good. But I think, yeah, a big win for OTM, and yeah, really should build some momentum for them. Before it's time for Soul Rooker against Fallon Henry. Henley had an answer for everything in Soul Rooker's arsenal except the Soul Snatcher. However, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix stormed the ring and caused a DQ to protect Henley from the pin. This started strong, but Rooker seemed off her spots multiple times in the match. Whether it was lack of chemistry or Rooker needed more rest after a great bout with Carlani Jordan, she was just slightly off her game here. The match was only reinforced how special their match was on Sunday. Their form is still learning and can pull out special performances anytime, and yeah, just work on the consistency because she and Henley are unlikely to be done with each other. Jane Nix and Henley all work together finally this week, so it does build some credibility. So yeah, I'm going to give it on the whole a 6 out of 10. Interesting North American title scene. Before it's time for Trick Williams, he walked out confident before his surprise partner was announced to take on Paige and Spears, and of course it was Joe Hendry, and yeah, his strength was on display early after his battle with All Ego and Sean. Paige and Spears finally got control until Ori Mensah struck, attacking the NXT champion. Trick hit the German with a trick knee, followed by a high choke slam on Spears, and from Hendry to seal the win. It's great to see Hendry part of NXT again, and was presented far better than his first appearance. It was inevitable though, given the reaction. What was especially was great to see was his in-ring work, which WWE fans obviously weren't familiar with, but we saw it here. Alongside the arrival of the Rascals, what he's doing is definitely the best of the crossover so far. So yeah, gets 7 out of 10 from me. And overall NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, it was a pretty good episode of NXT. Obviously, I thought the highlights of the show were kind of covered with the whole TNA crossover with a really good little segment with Joe Hendry and the Rascals, etc, but there's also some decent other stuff on the card as well to keep us entertained, so I'll go to 6 out of 10. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.